The girl wakes up in the room and sitting next. The woman begins to ask it questions, but that cannot tell even the name, therefore she behaves is disturbing and is aggressive. She is calmed by means of injections, and the girl falls asleep again. Having woken up at night, she explores the room in attempt to get out of the house. To it is possible to open door, but, having come to light, it appears in huge hangar, and her house only part of the fenced-off space of big laboratory, bypassing rooms. The girl finds the strange device in the form of the bathtub, filled with the pink liquid which has appeared behind. Scientist explains to her that it has been created, it is printed in the special printer. Scientists have developed new technology, four-dimensional the press, and one sample the scared girl takes to the heels. 2052 Lucia lives and works at farm on cultivation of fruit, and added everything goes well. Here only she is often visited by strange visions. With the blood-stained knife, the photo of the child which it has taken also haunts. At escape, the woman meets the local farmer Jack, who has deaf and dumb daughter Charlie. Jack served as the medical officer earlier and often asks questions of last Luce, but that can remember nothing and explains it with children's trauma. One night it dreams strange dream with knife and blood again, and the woman decides to sketch the repeating plot. In the morning it goes to work to garden. Without repairing the car, suddenly see themselves in bathtub with red liquid. Lucia loses vigilance, and it is forced down accidentally by the car. Luce bring to hospital and do full inspection of organism, but doctors do not find anything disturbing. Lucy is interested whether it is possible to learn whether it had child that causes bewilderment. But there comes Jack, and takes away at home. And data Luce immediately arrives on phone to Doctor Carey. Then the man goes to hospital and learns Lucy's address. At night the girl packs the things. When it is attacked by this man, he checks its identity by means of ultraviolet small lamp. From where Lucy learns about invisible tag on her shoulder, it resists that sees Charlie from the window. Having escaped, Lucia, the killer behind her, runs in garden, and he long tracks down the girl among trees, and she at last comes across. But when the murderer lifts gun, the shot sounds, and it falls. It appears this is Charlie has come running to help Luce. Luce conducts Charlie to the house and asks Jack immediately to leave from here until she understands situation. The girl packs things and takes away Jack and Charlie to the safe place. And itself, Lucia goes to the friend Craig, which has once pulled out it from the street and has sheltered in the center for the homeless, and to tell it about everything. She studies phone of the killer and finds the place from where that has begun trip. At this time, two agents of corporate safety of the billionaire of gift come to Doctor Carey to find Luce, who is considered dangerous. But that disproves it, and asks not to kill the girl. Meanwhile, Luce comes to the building which address she has learned from phone of the killer, and the person who seems to it very familiar sees the teenager's girl. She tries to ask questions, but that refuses to answer them and runs away. Lucia runs behind her, and behind them, directs the agent of corporate safety to the girl is possible to catch up with the girl, and it takes away it by the car. Greek finds the connected girl in the center of the help to the homeless. Illusion explains that it is the girl. It at the age of 16 years, Luce releases its sort that tells the name Jules, and tells that she lives in foster home as her family has died in road accident. It was two there then has completely lost memory. On what Luce tells that they are printouts of the same person. Jules refuses to trust in this nonsense, but Lucia shows absolutely identical scars on their hands, however. Of invisible brand on shoulders, there is no girl. Jules asks to lead her to toilet, and Luce, having remained outside, apologizes for what has frightened the girl. But Jules will wound her metal detail from drain tank and runs away. Lucy goes to Jake, and it provides it medical care, and Jules hurries home. The relations with the adoptive father at it quite difficult. But here she tells the stepbrother Wes everything that happened to it at this time. Luce admits to Jack that she, the artificial person, also is lucky him in hangar where it was once created. Since then, here has much changed, but in nobody is not present. Lucy shows it photo Jules, but Jack cannot believe that she was printed on the printer. Meanwhile, Lucy's words nevertheless have made the impact, and Jules reconsiders photo of the died family, trying to remember though something it. The foster mother Neva tries to talk to the girl, but that is too upset. At this time, Luce comes to office to Neva. The scanner on entrance defines it as de Jules and passes inside about what on the woman's phone. Right there, messages come. She calls protection while she, Lucia, finds and searches its office, having taken away the photo where the family is depicted against the background of the building of clinic. Lucy comes back to Jake, and that admits that to it all the same real it, or is printed on the printer. And Jules calls the grandfather, and that tells from where her scar has developed. But when the girl disconnects call, it turns out that the man is not her real grandfather. Action is transferred to that day when Jones recovers after accident. Also learns that was in coma, but the girl remembers red traces on the hands and faints. Later, the neuropsychologist of P comes and tells about death of parents, but Jones cannot be upset because he does not remember close people I will eat to tell its biography, showing photos. But Jones perceives it just as the facts does not help also meeting with the schoolmate. But once Jules suddenly remembers the walk with dog that very much pleases with the Tem. Soon the girl is taken away by foster home. And now she tries to remember through something, and remembers the diary about Luce. And Jack come at this time to clinic, which they have learned in the photo. The nurse tells couple that the neuropsychologist with the unlimited rights watched the girl, what is very strange. And still Jules, the nightmares connected with blood on hands Luce immediately dreamed, remembers the dream. At this time, Jules is at lesson of chemistry, and the pink solution received by it causes some unclear memoirs. But here it is caused to the director where the neuropsychologist P waits. But the girl does not go on frankness, and suppresses the fact of acquaintance to Lucy. And here the diary very much interests her because it is perfect. It is unlikely that it was written by her at its request. West considers the diary and too pays attention to atypical for Jules' acts. And here the girl notices strange and very poetical statement. She drives in it into search string and immediately receives the answer that it is fragment from the book. On page there is address of the writer and they property go there in the house of the writer. Jules shows it the diary, and that admits that he wrote it on task, but refuses to call the customer. Meanwhile, having left from it, Jones understands that Lucy told the truth, and having sent the brother home, goes to the center of the help to the homeless. A time later, Jules and Lucy discuss current situation, and finds out identity of their nightmare with knife. Jones suggests to accept together the forbidden substance which helps to relax. Ira from Fortress T maybe. They will be able to remember memory still that about that knife. But substance is at home, and Jules goes behind it. And at this time the agent of corporate safety has grown. SSA advises Kira to find Lucy before them, if wants to protect the girl. Jones comes home for substances, and admits to Wes that he wants to leave the house. The brother gives it the jacket and hat, and also couple exchanges phones. It is very reasonable as it becomes clear that in its phone the tracking chip is built in, on which have brought agents of Hummock. Jules watch, gathers to Lucy's house, and together they accept substance. The girl considers Lucy's drawings but does not recognize Dr. Kira. But knife just the same, as in its nightmare. And here she is visited by the idea, and girls undertake paints. They sketch everything that they remember, putting image of all room from nightmare. It appears it is the toilet room. Besides, both of them begin to hear the same sound. After they discuss the issues concerning them, and Lucia admits that, apparently, it had child. In the morning they in common the drawing are seen by Ooze and surely calls the place where there is monument represented in window of their picture. At this time Dr. Kira comes to trailer where reaped Lucy and finds the drawing of the kid. On the title page of the book about identity, and Jones and Lucy go to the street called Ooze, and find the house from windows which the look necessary to them has to open and find familiar sound weather vane scratch on roof. In the house there is party so their emergence in anybody will not raise questions. Couple passes in toilet, but their repair is made long ago. Nevertheless Jules it is possible to find confirmation of Togo that it this place seems. Later organizers of party remember name of the former hostess who is in nursing home now. Girls go there. At this time in the apartment of parents Jules it finds its absence, and forces Wes to tell the truth in nursing home Jules and Lucy to get acquainted with Melissa, which calls both of them the Eleanor the nurse, immediately reports about it to Dr. Carey that is overheard also by agents of Deros. Meanwhile, girls find in the room of Melissa pillow with the image de Jules and understand that it is their biological mother. But so far they try get to talking the old woman. Agents drive up to shelter Luce orders to run away Vanes, and itself tries to take away pursuit. The girl hurries to the elevator where she is met by the foster mother who persuades the daughter to trust it. And for persuasiveness to splash in the face of the agent from Beryl and helps the girl to run away. And Luce runs out to the yard, where before her Kira's car pulls up, and the doctor orders it to sit down rather inside if she wants to escape. Kira shows it the drawing of the kid and takes away directly from under nose of agents. Later they take seat on bench, and Cyrus admits that it was created because of love. Action is transferred to the past 2030. The student Kira is trained at the university where one of objects is conducted by the neurobiologist, Eleonora Miller, with whom she is secretly in love. The girl is engaged in development of drugs for Alzheimer's disease, thinking that at them nothing will turn out. In private life it is transferred to other laboratory, but on one of receptions Eleonora finds it and takes away. Soon Kira presents to the world the method on printing on the printer of internals of the person that will allow to treat the most dreadful diseases without waiting for appearance of donors. After her performance, the billionaire has grown. Offer the girl financing for development of the project. A time later, couple gathers and begins to live together. 2 years later, Dr. Kira tries to obtain Togo that are unpacked by her heart has recovered, and they decide to bring the child. But it turns out that Eleonora cannot have children. Then Kira promises to make it, and soon couple has wonderful kid whom they called. Lucas passes 20 years. Kira successfully conducts the work, bringing transplantology to new. Level on one of receptions, the billionaire has grown suddenly, is interested whether she can print the whole person. But Kira does not want even to speak on this unethical subject. Soon the woman sees off Lucas in college, and there are some in one of days or Honor goes to the pool, but soon comes back home because she could not find the road. It is one of the first symptoms of Alzheimer's disease at her mother. Memory was gone in the same age of Cyrus carries out Eleonora's survey, but there is no hope. Then she decides to unpack brain fabric, and by means of the faithful assistant Josh begins the new project, then operates Eleonora. Eleonora recovers and remembers everything that was in her life. Kira is happy because operation was successful. Eleonora begins to be restored, but in one of nights, suddenly dies. Kira tests such terrible grief that she agrees to the sentence of Derosev to make the exact copy of the person, but lays down conditions. It will destroy the printer after completion of work of Cyrus develops new lens, and asks Josh to keep it in secret because without it the printer is useless. One experience completely works well with Bird, and Kira creates young Eleonora's copy. It is specially given to the girlfriend XS 20 years behind whom hopes to find medicine for Alzheimer. And here the car is opened, and from pink liquid there is young Eleonora. And then it becomes clear that the girl remembers nothing the past. She runs and takes herself the name of Lucy, and Lucy's present cannot believe in truthfulness of this story, and that it has son and the general sign of their love. Luce asks Kira to present to tattoo on her hand what it nothing to know about itself, and reminds that she is not Eleonora, and is interested why it is created Jules. And this appears the real opening for Kira because she did not print any girl, and has switched off the printer right after creation. Eleonora.